Welcome back to the Brilliant Fools podcast. My name is Adam Green, and this is Technical Tuesday. Today, moving along with the theme of this week, we're going to think about how to identify what you don't know. So, one of the biggest issues I have found when it comes to business is, how do I know what I don't know? It's not just how do I find out the answer to a question that I have. It's how do I know what I don't know, what I need to know? And there's a few ways to get into that. One of those, probably I would say, most straightforward way to do that is to have someone who is working with you, who you are working with, to identify those blind spots for you. But if you're looking to do it yourself and move forward yourself, you can do that to a large extent, if not to the whole extent. You can do that. And I have a system that I use that helps me get there, something I've used very recently, and it's helped me to get to a point of something that I needed to move forward in, and I got unstuck in this area through a little self-assessment. So let me take you through these steps. First of all, I determine what my plan is. I kind of map some things out, even if it's just a mental map of some of the things. And I'm going to use very specifically, of course, because we're in the business world, I'm going to use the business that I have and apply it to that. So whatever business you're running, apply it to that. But I think this could apply to other areas of life as well. If something works for business, if it's good, if it applies to business, then it probably applies to life itself. If it's a good principle for business, it's a good principle for life. So let's determine the plan first. Okay. There are a few things that I map out. I'm going to map out, first of all, the initial setup. Okay. If I'm starting a business, or if I'm even in business, then I can go back and think about it as though I'm at the ground floor just getting started. What's required? Like, what do I need to have in order to have this business? Okay. And then ask myself, what do I already have in place? Or what do I already just have on hand or have in place? And then what do I still need? That can answer a lot of questions right there. I mean, that's just foundational, basic, broad questioning. But let's think a little more about some different areas of the business. Let's think about, say, the product or the service that I'm actually providing to people. What am I delivering to people? What actually is it? And this, especially if you're in a service arena, but even if you're selling products, truly ask yourself what you are providing. If my first answer, let's say I'm doing bookkeeping, find your bookkeeping needs at greenhouseghs.com. Come have a call with me and we'll work that out for you. But if I'm doing bookkeeping and tax services, okay, well, there's my service right there. Yes, and that's a good thing to ask. But get a little bit deeper than that. Get a little bit deeper by asking why. Why am I even providing that? Why would I provide bookkeeping and tax services to people? Well, there's a compliance aspect, and there's peace of mind in that compliance as well. Okay, well, that's good. But beyond that, when I provide bookkeeping and tax, I'm also going to do some quarterly reviews with you, some short consultations. We're going to look at it, see where you are, see what areas there might need to be a little more focus. But even that active tracking starts to reveal things to you in your business. So what am I actually providing? I'm providing some strategy. I'm providing some clarity to people. I'm providing things that keep getting deeper and deeper. It's not just bookkeeping and tax, because anybody can provide that. If you do woodwork and sell it online, anybody can do that. You may have very skilled pieces that you put together that require a lot of craftsmanship, and that's great too. But even then, if somebody's buying the craftsmanship, there's probably something underneath that they're buying. There's a certain sense of enjoyment in the art itself they may be purchasing. So there's something that goes a little bit deeper. So what are you actually delivering to people? How are you actually serving people? Okay. And then what do you what do you start with? Okay, we're going to get a little bit deeper into that process later, but this is a broad overview of your product or service. So what do I start with? And then maybe even after what I start with, what am I selling right now? How do I need to adjust what I'm selling right now? Do I need to adjust what I'm selling right now? It's a good idea to go back, I'd say at least yearly, and reevaluate what are the services or products that I offer? Where are my margins on it? What do I enjoy doing and can do more consistently and serve people better with? That sort of thing. How is the business operating right now, and what's the best place to put the energy, right? Determine where the demand is for what you're offering and how you're supplying it, and if those things match up. Look at something from the customer's point of view as well. What is the customer journey like? How are they finding me? How do they know about me? How will they purchase from me? How do they contact me or get the product or get the service or find out more about it, right? How am I going to deliver? How do I deliver that product to them? How do I deliver that service to them? How do I ensure that they're getting it and getting a good quality? Excuse me. How do I maintain that customer relationship? What am I doing to truly serve that customer, right? And then, speaking of the process of how will I deliver, what tools am I using for that? What resources do I have? Do I use for delivering that product? Am I missing something there? Is there something else that I need in the tools? Is there something that's not working as well? What frustrates me the most to use in order to deliver that product or service? That can be a good area where you're starting to find out, oh, there's something I need to identify that I don't know here, right? What do I have already written out in my processes, in my systems? And this can start as something very basic. You can just have the broad sections of the basic steps at first and get more detailed on how those steps are accomplished later. But, and again, if it's a system that you're using, it should be flexible and adjustable to you. The system is for you. It's not you made for the system. Man was made, or the Sabbath was made for man, not man for the Sabbath, right? There may be other questions that you can think of that you need to ask that are maybe more specific to your business, and you'll start seeing some things and seeing some areas. Oh, this is starting to open up my eyes here or there. But find out answers to those questions and really find out, what can I not answer? What are some questions that I don't have the answer for? Do you understand where all this is going? This is going back to Matthew chapter, Matthew chapter 7? Should have had this continually put up as well. Yes, okay. Yeah, Matthew chapter 7, verse 7. Ask, and it will be given to you. And then we'll follow up with that. Seek, and you will find. Knock, and it will be open to you. But these are the asking portion. I mean, this is how I find out what I don't know. How I begin to find out is I ask. And I'm asking myself, I'm asking the Lord, reveal it to me. Will you reveal this to me, where I need what I need, and give me the grace and humility to, give me the humility and the grace to move forward on those things, to accept that I don't know what I need to know, and I can move forward with it. And then at that point, I'm going to start to have some areas where I know what I can't answer, so I need to make some determinations, right? This is where I start to seek, to find. Do I need to learn it? Oftentimes, this is the slowest, but the most cost-effective upfront. Okay, so I don't have to put the money into it to pay somebody else to do it. If I can do it myself, if I can learn it and do it myself, typically it's going to be a longer return on investment. You potentially could see some returns pretty quickly. It all depends. Let's take advertising, for example. So if you want to do, like if I want to do an ad campaign, Google, Facebook, wherever it's going to be, it could be radio, whatever. I can seek all that out and I can find it. I mean, you can understand all this through YouTube videos. Honestly, you really can. It may take some time. And if you got the time, that might be the best place to put your resources. If you don't have other resources, it might be the best place to put them because it can be expensive to have someone else handle all that for you. But so the most cost effective up front, but it's a longer ROI. It often feels like the lowest risk. But I can tell you from experience, if I don't execute it well, it can actually have the highest risk. So keep that in mind as you're going. How confident are you in doing it yourself? You can do it. I want to put that out there. You can do it. I'm sure that whatever's necessary, you can do. But do you need to do it? Maybe your time is better spent elsewhere. Okay. So learning it is one thing. Paying someone to teach me is another thing. So it's much faster. I can learn it a lot quicker if I pay someone to teach me. This is typically a much higher, or what would I say, lower time commitment than searching out YouTube videos, searching out tutorials and things like that. If I can just have somebody kind of walk me through it. If it's taught by a good teacher, then that's usually it's a faster return on investment. You're going to pay a little more to be taught, but if you're taught well and you implement it correctly, then you've got a better teacher, you've got a lower risk, you have a higher chance of actually getting the results that you're looking for, if you are a willing student, right? So consider that as well. I have some time, but not a lot of time. I have some resources, not a lot of resources. Maybe I could pay someone else. Maybe I could go shadow someone for a little while and see what they're doing. And then, okay, now I can implement it into my own system. And then really the quickest way is going to be to pay someone else to do it. Usually you're going to have the most resource output up front. So it's going to cost me the most if I want someone else to run and maintain an ad campaign, but they're already going to have everything in place to be able to track the numbers and understand what they need to tweak and how they need to adjust the ad campaign for higher effectiveness. And then the return on investment is going to be a lot quicker, right? But it is going to be expensive. That's going to be the most upfront cost. And you may not have the resources to put them out right up front. That's okay. You don't have to go this way, but if you have the resources or you're willing to put them in there, you can do that. It oftentimes feels like the highest risk because of how much it costs up front, because of how many resources you have to put in up front. It can feel like the highest risk. What if it doesn't pay off? What if I don't get the return on my investment? But it is oftentimes the lowest risk and the lowest stress if you have the right person doing it. If you're paying the right person, it can be the closest to a guaranteed thing that you have, having someone else do it. And if that's hard to see, then I would just say look at it in terms of when you're hiring an employee to do a job. When you hire the right person and they do the job well, you get your return very quickly on that. That's why businesses hire people. It's why that's been done for ages and ages, because it really is. It's a risk. There's always a risk, but it's one of the lower forms of risk. And it can be one of the lowest stress points too. Me not having to figure out how to do it myself. So asking myself, what can I not answer? And then starting to seek that out. So if I go back to this Google Ads thing or the radio ads or things like that, and I differentiate between those because the type of ads, online, traditional marketing, stuff like that, direct mail, all that, it's going to require a different ad agency to actually cover that, a different marketing agency to understand the nuances of it and help you determine how you need to set it up and what you need to do for it. But as I start talking to those people, as I reach out, now I'm knocking on the door and the door's starting to be open to me. As I go and look at those YouTube videos, as I'm seeking, I'm starting to knock now. And I'm like, you know what? I really can run a Google ad campaign myself. But on the direct mail side, I want someone else to design the whole brochure and flyer for me, postcard, whatever it is I'm sending out. So now I have an idea of what to do, and I knock on those doors. And as I actually start that ad campaign myself, I am knocking on the door, and it'll be opened. It'll be open. So move out in faith on that, because one of the last questions, say not one of the last questions, maybe one of the first questions you ask as you're going along, but one of the questions I ask is, what am I not doing? What is sitting there that I know I could be doing, I probably should be doing, but I'm not doing? And that can be one of the harder ones to ask. But that's where that humility comes in, and that's humility that we saw yesterday's episode from James chapter 4. Chapter 4, verse 6, he gives a greater grace. Therefore it says, God is opposed to the proud, but gives grace to the humble. Verse 7, submit therefore to God. Resist the devil and he will flee from you. That accusation of you're not doing enough, that accusation of you are not enough, of you are incapable, what the devil is doing is he's using truth. We as humans, we're flawed individuals, right? Separated from God because of sin. But in Christ, you've got everything you need. You are more than capable. And he will give you the grace to move forward in him. So resist the devil. Say, devil, I'm not talking about me doing this. I'm talking about Christ in me doing the work, right? Draw near to God, and he will draw near to you. So keep that in mind. Ask yourself these questions. Go through this exercise. There are nuances and tweaks I'm sure that you could find that will work even better for your situation. So whatever you find that works for you, do it. Dwell with God, draw near to him. He'll draw near to you, and he's going to give you more grace to get through and push through these things. Stay humble. That means not seeking to do it on your own effort. That means seeking to do it by his grace and knowing that he's going to give you the grace, and you will be strong and you will move forward because he said these things are true of you in Christ. Enjoy time with God. Enjoy what he's given you to do. Enjoy this work that he's given you to do, which I think is an amazing thing. I love it. I love business. I love the business, all the aspects of business, what goes into it, building it, understanding the strategy behind it. And if you do want to talk to someone about it, reach out to me. Please reach out to me. I love talking about these things, and we can see if there's somewhere we can collaborate together or somewhere I can serve you. If you need bookkeeping and tax work done and you want some consulting that goes along with that, let me know. I do that. So I hope to talk to you soon. And, well, I will talk to you soon because I'm going to talk to you in the next episode. So I appreciate it. Thanks.